Good morning and welcome back to another devlog. In this current series, we're working on a small Google Drive style cloud storage system, and it is currently Monday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. and excited to get into this week and get some stuff done. Looking at our board over here, you can see we've got some stuff. We started it off last week, but we're hoping to knock out the final database configuration things this morning and be able to move into adding authentication later on in the week. So we're going to go ahead and get into it and see how much we can get done. Alright, it's now 6:45 a.m. We've gotten some good work done here. You can see over here I've implemented a very basic display on our client return just to show what folder we're in and whatever children folders it has. If we take a look over here, we'll see all I've done for that is in folder EJS template, made a very basic EJS template that returns folder name and then loops through each child folder and displays its child name in a list. The main goal for this morning was to create a bunch of basic Prisma queries. So right here in the folder repository file, we've got create folder, update folder, delete folder, find folder by ID, and find the root folder, basic stuff. In the index controller, we've got a index folder get, which is going to get the root folder, and we've also got an index page get. So if anyone goes to the index page, it will automatically find the root folder and redirect them there. So here I've got just some basic code to go ahead and update by adding 2 new folders when we refresh the page just to see if it's working. So right now we can see we've got these 2 that should come in once we refresh the page. Let's test it out. We've got documents and projects. When we refresh this, it should make a request, should update the database with 2 new folders. And there we go. We've got 2 new folders now, and they are added in the database. I have not had a chance yet to test the other functions we implemented, such as deleting folders, updating folders, also added a few for a user, but we'll get around to that next time. For now, that's a good start, I think, to the week, and I have to get off to work, but we will catch up with you later in the week and see how things are going then. Okay, quick update this morning. I was able to get some work in here and create some of the static views for now. Don't have a lot hooked up to them, but just the routes and the views. We've got a couple of different pages, the off pages here, folder page, and one component, which is going to be the nav component, which will show up on every single page that we see. So if I pull this over here real quick, we can see here now, did some very basic styling just to get a little more of an idea of what this is going to look like. This is going to be our nav component up here, which will stick on every single folder page. And then we still got our folders here, which works great. We've also got the static page for sign up. Again, not much styling yet, but we'll get there. Sign in also has its own. And if we redirect here, it'll redirect us to the root page. The other thing I did was went ahead and add a basic link to any folders that are in a folder. So here, if we click on documents, it will reroute us to the documents folder. And we can see that documents holds a report PDF. So everything's working fairly smoothly so far. No real hiccups, going pretty well. At some point, hopefully tomorrow, we will be able to actually build out these different folder and file components so that they show a little more, show the size, show icons, all that fun stuff. So hopefully we'll get there tomorrow. Good morning. It's now the end of Thursday morning, and between yesterday and today, we've gotten a lot of progress done. So let's take a look. You can see we've gotten a nice layout now for all of our folders and our files. I had said I wasn't going to do much UI until the end, but I couldn't really help myself. Each folder has an icon, it's got the name of it, it's got its modified date, and then files have the same, but they also have a size showing up. Files cannot be selected yet because they're eventually going to be able to be downloaded, but we can't view them in the app. Folders can be clicked and it will take us into that folder and show us exactly what is inside each folder. And then this morning I went ahead and hooked up at the end here our create folder function. So now we can create a folder and it will create it in whatever root we are in. So if I create test folder inside of our root folder, it will create test folder here and it assigns its own ID and it now is underneath the root folder. We can create folders within folders if I go into pictures and create special photos. Create that, creates it here within our pictures folder. So this allows us to have lots of nesting going on. Next thing I'm hopefully going to get done tomorrow, or we'll see if it happens this week, is to actually be able to upload files and save them into the app. But that's all I have time for today. I have to get off to work, and I will hopefully see you all tomorrow morning. Okay, after a pretty quick morning and a lot of debugging, we have this sort of working. So here in our index controller, we've got an index file upload controller function. And this is going to take a file that is uploaded through the browser and upload it to Supabase storage. We're not going to store the files in our database because it's generally bad practice, and it's better to use a system that is meant for storing large files, and we can just retrieve the files from there when we need them. So we're using Supabase storage for this. It looks like this. You can also make databases in here, but we're using our own database in this situation. So here's the other function. The way it works is we, first of all, in the router have to use Multer, which is a middleware to actually parse the form data. We use that right here, and then we use the Multer upload, and that just takes the file and saves it in the server memory. As we can see here, we've got that set to store it in the memory of the server. So that gets passed down into the index controller file upload over here. So now the file will be stored in the request object because of our Multer middleware. We can see that right here in a console log where it stores it here and logs it out. So it gives us things like field name, original name, encoding the buffer, which is the actual file, all that stuff. So then we need to take that and we actually need to get it uploaded to Supabase. So the way that's done is we first of all extract these properties from the request.file and we upload the result using this function, upload file, which I just created over in the utilities folder. This connects to our Supabase client and it uses the Supabase URL and Supabase key, which I'm storing in environment variables to keep them from being exposed. So then here's our function. All it does is take the bucket name. Buckets are basically just like master folders. So I've created a bucket name over here in our Supabase. You can see right here, all buckets. I've just created an all files bucket for now, just to make things simple. So our function takes in a bucket name, the file path, the data, this is the important part, and the content type. So then it awaits Supabase storage and it uploads the file through here. And then we've just got some error handling in case things don't work out. And it's going to return that data back to our index controller function. That's going to be right here, our uploaded result. So then all we do is we do a check if there's any errors, console log the errors, but otherwise return a 200 status, and then for now just return some JSON saying it uploaded successfully, the file path, and all of that. And then, if all things went according to plan, it should be uploaded to Supabase in that bucket where we can then later retrieve it. Later on, we're hopefully going to be able to get some kind of URL from them that we can store in our database to reference it and get the files when we need them. So it worked once. Let's try it again and see if it's still working for us. So if I go here, let's just clear this terminal. Server's running. Over here, we go to our localhost, and here we've got our page so far, very basic upload section. We browse for a file, and I just grab this icon, and then we hit upload file. We can see right here, we get some JSON returns saying the file is uploaded successfully, and our file path, which is just our folder ID / file name. If we go back to our code, we can see it's console logged out. We get a return log from Supabase saying file uploaded successfully with the path ID and the full path. Now the moment of truth, if we go over to our Supabase and refresh the page, we can see here we've got a folder which was created, and it's the same ID as our folder. And inside we've got our icon.png. So that was a bit of a workout to get that working, but now that it works, we should be in the clear to hopefully very soon be able to implement some sort of system to save URLs to the files in our database and then retrieve them. That's all I have time for today. I've got to get moving, but I feel like that was a lot of good progress, and that's going to wrap it up for this week. And hopefully next week we can maybe even wrap up this project. We'll see. But it's been a very good learning experience so far, and I have learned a lot about database storage, a lot about Prisma, and good patterns for breaking up files and storing modules and all that for an app of this type. So with that, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.